It is indeed a pleasure for me to be in your midst for the second edition of the Innovation Week at the University of Mauritius. This event provides an opportunity to officials, business people, research funding institutions, and higher education institutions to get together and brainstorm on the way forward for our country's socio-economic progress, especially in this post-COVID context. The new normal, shaped by the global sanitary crisis, calls for new and innovative ways of reconstructing our economy. We don't have a choice. We need to rebuild our economy. And we know that we can only be on the growth path again by being innovative. Developing a new economic architecture requires innovation. It starts with the establishment of new economic growth poles, one example being the green energy industry. This new industry will be the engine for significant economic growth and will create opportunities for new jobs. The agro-processing sector is another sector where we can bring innovative solutions to local problems. The University of Mauritius Agri-Tech Park, launched in February 2020, is one commendable initiative that aims to modernize agricultural practices and create new opportunities through strategic public-private partnerships. Promoting digital entrepreneurship is an essential driver within the innovation system, and government is shaping the digital future, developing the knowledge industry, and promoting skills and talent as well as digital entrepreneurship. Attaining the other goals calls for a multi-stakeholder partnership that includes representatives of academia, industry, and the community. Universities can be strategic partners in these endeavors through capacity building, research, and innovation. The collaborative approach taken by the University of Mauritius to help solve problems has delivered concrete results. The partnership with the Traffic Management Road Safety Unit, for example, has led to the setting up of a road safety observatory. Similarly, a successful outcome was reached when the University of Mauritius collaborated with the Ministry of Environment to establish an Observatoire de Recherche en Environnement at the university. I would like to stress that our focus should be on inclusive innovation. Government is laying emphasis on policies that can stimulate innovations which benefit everybody in society. Innovations should directly improve the well-being of all groups and serve the welfare of all, including lower income and excluded groups. Businesses must adopt an inclusive innovation business model. And it is also important that innovation be driven by concern for resources and environment. We need to be responsible towards future generations. And of course, economic growth is important, but businesses should embrace the idea that resources cannot be used faster than they are replenished, and that waste generation cannot exceed the carrying capacity of the ecosystem. There is greater demand for a greener model of growth around the planet. Hence, focus on green innovation will be the key to ensure environmentally sustainable growth. I encourage higher education institutions to collaborate with the industry to support the offer of new programs in emerging technologies spur the creativity and innovation in our learners, and generate solutions to pressing problems of national interest.
It is indeed a great pleasure for me to be here today for the opening ceremony of the second edition of the University of Mauritius Innovation Week, and we feel privileged and honoured, of course, that the Prime Minister should have made time to mark the occasion with his presence. Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister, for having accepted to be with us for this ceremony. I understand that this year the Innovation Week has been organised around the theme Sustainable Innovation in the Making. It helps to remind ourselves that Mauritius has been ranked first in Africa and 52nd worldwide on the Global Innovation Index this year. In this context, I feel that the choice of the theme is more than timely and appropriate, given that we want to sustain the momentum as far as innovation is concerned. Indeed, if this is our goal, we do not have any other choice than to make innovation seem normal. Allow me to explain what I mean by making innovation seem normal. Innovation should no longer be a feature made distinct from our normal, run-of-the-mill business. It should not be isolated from the normal practice or even treated as a special practice that should remain confined in and specific to a separate department. Rather, it should be an integral part of the normal day-to-day operation and the running thread through all that we do. It is only with this spirit that we can inculcate a solid innovation culture. Indeed, now, more than ever, in this pandemic-dominated era, innovation will be the solution to various problems faced in practically all spheres of life. Ladies and gentlemen, one outcome of the first edition of the Innovation Week last year was a strong advocacy for innovation to be fostered and made operational at a three-pronged level as stated by the Vice-Chancellor: the macro, the meso, and the micro. The idea was to drive a systemic innovation at all levels. Now, I fully concur with the recommendation to have policies, institutions, structures, guidelines, and incentives for the promotion of innovative practices. However, I would also like to highlight that innovation is something quite unique, a leap from an individual's creative mind. Besides devising policies and setting up structures, important as these are, we should at the same time reflect on how to increase creativity and instill an innovation culture in our workforce, and that too at the individual level.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister and Honourable Deputy Prime Minister, for sparing time to be with us this morning. While you've been endeavouring to develop a modern Mauritius for the past 7 years, a clin d'œil to the metro linking Résil to Réduit, one of the innovative and sustainable projects you have championed, and which rejoices us. On our side, we've been working towards a modern University of Mauritius since 2017. Innovation has been the key focus of the new UoM vision. To succeed in this endeavour, it was important to develop strategic partnerships with the public and private sectors, as well as with the civil society and with international partners. In 2020, we organised the university's first Innovation Week. The main theme was precisely on that tripartite relationship with stakeholders and on the ecosystem required for innovation to thrive. One of the main recommendations of that first Innovation Week was the urgency to set up a national innovation structure or framework, structured into 3 levels: macro, meso, and micro. That is, the policy and regulatory level, the institutional and programmatic supports level, and the innovation capacity level. For this second edition of the Innovation Week, we've chosen the theme Sustainable Innovation in the Making, to lay emphasis on the innovation capacity of the UoM working closely with stakeholders. I will highlight here a few examples of how the UoM is effectively contributing to sustainable innovation. The term sustainable is very important here, as we attach a lot of importance to UN Agenda 2030 and we view the SDGs as a remarkable framework for innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, to make the UoM a pole for information and digital technologies, we've partnered with the government to increase our annual student intake threefold, from 40 to 120 students in our flagship IT programs. We've developed new programs in applied software technologies and business enterprise resource planning jointly with Accenture. We shall also offer a master's in business engineering jointly with Ceridian Mauritius Limited. We've set up an innovation lab with the support of Ceridian to unleash the innovative and creative potential of our students. To contribute to UN Agenda 2030 and to address the SDGs in an effective manner, we've joined hands with the Ministry of Land Transport and Light Rail and the Ministry of Environment, Solid Waste Management and Climate Change to set up in 2020 the Road Safety Observatory and in 2021 the Research Environment Observatory. Enhancing road safety and reducing road accidents, biodiversity, water and air pollution, ocean resources are key focus of these observatories, which are already in operation. By working closely with Artinits Limited, our researchers at the Center for Biomedical and Biomaterials Research have designed and manufactured last year an antiviral mask, a first of its kind in Mauritius, all through indigenous knowledge. We're now working with Leela and Company Limited to look into the recycling of batteries. Energy management will be a vital issue of the century you will all conquer. IT, health, energy are all sectors where innovation is key, but we should not neglect agriculture. The setting up of the university's Agri-Tech Park with the support of government and industry is another vivid example of how partnership can drive innovation. The Agri-Tech Park endeavors to promote modern and sustainable agriculture, food security and agri-processing. We're working with Livestock Feed Limited and Ecclesia Group to set up a model dairy farm and with RL Malak Technologies to develop digital agriculture. Beyond public and private sectors, we also value our collaboration with the civil society. Recently, we partnered with the Rotary Club of FLAC to support their La Main de l'Espoir project through the improvement of a mechanical prosthetic arm, an arm that changes the lives of impaired people.